Okay, I'm starting with what I believe is a full-size image. I'm not sure, so we're going to look real quickly. This is a full-size image, so it's at 300 resolution. So I'm going to say OK. When doing a twirl, it's best to work with a square. So I'm going to crop this, and I'm going to tell it that I want a square. And we'll move this to not the complete center, but just over a little bit. There we go. And we'll hit the check mark to commit to that crop. And I'm going to get back into the search tool just so I don't crop something by accident. So the first thing I do is I duplicate the image so that I always have the original. I can close this for now. It doesn't matter. Leave it open, leave it closed. I'm going to leave it on. I don't mean open or close, but the eye to where the layer is visible. I'm going to be on the background copy layer. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go to Filter. And if the sound changed, that's because I turned my little fan off. Going to go to Filter, Pixelate, and we're going to go to Mezzotint. And I've got this over on the other screen, so I'm going to put that over here. We want, right now my default is fine dots. We want medium lines. And we're going to click OK. So now this looks kind of funky. We're going to go to Filter, Blur, Radial Blur. And again, it's over on my other monitor. We're going to increase this all the way to 100, the amount. The blur method is zoom. The quality is best. And we're going to click OK. This will take a moment since this is a full-size JPEG. There you go. Doesn't look like much, but what we do now is we do that blur 3 to 5 times, and we don't have to go all through the menu to filter, to blur, to radial blur. Here's radial blur, the last thing that we used, with the settings that we just chose. So we can click that again, and that'll be the second time. You can see we have some funky stuff here and on the bottom, but that may be smoothed out as we keep blurring. It's smoothing it out. I'm going to do it a third time. Cool. I might do it a fourth time, just see what'll happen. If I don't like it, I could always go over here and get rid of it. All right, so we did it 4 times, and we're going to duplicate the layer. And what I do is I just click and drag this layer to the right here, to the add a new layer, create a new layer icon. So we click and drag, and that duplicates the layer. So now we're going to state on this layer, which is the original one. This is really the original, but we're not using that for now, so we will turn that off. So we're going to go back to this layer, and we're going to do the distort. So we're going to go to Filter, Distort, Twirl, and again it's over on my other monitor, so here it is. We want it to be a twirl. I mean, we want it to show some movement, so you can see in the preview that we can exaggerate it or just go to, let's say, type in, I'm going to type in 150, and we click OK. So we can't see it because of this top layer, but if I turn the eye off, now you can see it. So now we go onto this layer and make it active. and we go to filter, and we do not want to click on this twirl because that'll give us the same settings. And we don't want the same settings, we want the opposite. So we're going to go to distort, twirl, and we want minus 150, or you could do any number you want, but just for demonstration's sake, we're going to use the same number, just the opposite, minus 150, and OK. So that is the top layer, and if I turn the eye off, that's the other layer. And how you get the twirl is we now stay on the top layer as active, and we go to the blend modes, which is right here, which is normal. And you can try different modes. Sometimes multiply is good. A lot of people use lighten, but sometimes if the image is already light, that doesn't work, and I'll stick with the darker ones. So darken, multiply, color burn, linear burn, darker colors, kind of nice. If we go into these others, there's lighten, screen is just way too much. These are no good. Overlay, soft light, no. So right now I like darken. So we could choose darken. And when I do a partial twirl, sometimes I'll just turn a layer off and there'll be a partial twirl. Or if I want it the other direction, I'll turn that off. And the reason I leave the other layer is because if I want to get part of that original flower, I'll refer to that layer. But I could stop there, or there, or there, and then I could even just play with it more. But that's the basic steps to the basic twirl effect.